All right. What's up, guys? All right, let's get started. What's up, guys? How are you? Thanks for coming today. Very much appreciate it. Looking forward to getting to know what you guys got going on with your business. Also helping you to put together a business model canvas. So, before I get started, what do you guys have any questions? Anything that's on your mind? Anything that you've been thinking about? What is a business model canvas or anything? Anything that just so we can have the air clear before we get started? No? Huh? Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in business since 2009, and from 2009 until 2012, 2013, about 2013, I, did well, did okay, was profitable, but never had any like full scope of what it is that I'm trying to accomplish in business. I never had like a target to shoot for. I never had, I never knew exactly what all the aspects of my business that were important. Once I started to put everything into a business model canvas and actually have a plan, then my business went up double like immediately, just because of the fact that I knew what I was shooting for. So a lot of people have an idea about what they want to do in business, but they know like what the value proposition, which is the center part of that canvas, or they know who they want to sell to, or they know the different ways that they're going to generate revenue, but they don't know all the pieces. And once we get through, and once we start digging into this business model canvas, you'll see actually a requirement is that all of these different pieces are interconnected. They need to be able to be linked together. So we're going to link them together. How does the value proposition connect with your customer segments? How do your customer segments connect with your revenue streams? And of course, revenue streams are connected with your expenses, et cetera, right? And so instead of just having, how does Helen here? Instead of just having an idea of what it is you want to do, you have an idea of exactly what you need to do as a business. So you may be good at one thing, whether it's VR or IT stuff. But how do you handle the business stuff, and who else do you need to bring on the team in order to have a complete business? You need to be thinking about the accounting, and you account for what the costs are related to all that stuff, right? So that's pretty much, so the saying goes, and every business plan. There is no business plan that survives first contact with your customers. So people put together a business plan instead of a business model canvas. It's like 15, 20, 40 pages sometimes. And they have all these grand ideas about what it is that their business should be. And then when they start to go into the market, everything falls apart. Doesn't go as planned, doesn't go the way that they want. Usually, almost always, it's overestimated as far as the income, underestimated as far as the expenses. So what we're going to do today is we're going to flip that triangle upside down so that you have the idea, you know what the business is, but we're only going to assume, and this is just an assumption, a living document that you're going to be able to have, and your day-to-day purpose as the owner of the business is to break those pieces of the model until they don't break anymore. So each week, that's what this test card is. Each week, you're going to be going through and doing different tests so that you can say, okay, what do I want to test? My customer segments. What do I want to test? My marketing. What do I want to test? So different pieces of this business model canvas, and it's not always going to be 1 week. Sometimes it's going to be a day. Just a phone call is all you need to do. Sometimes it's going to be a month. It's going to be you need to go out there and talk to your customers. But this is actually getting you to the part where the rubber meets the road. And then instead of having a grand idea of how your business is going to look 5 years from now, you have an idea of the direction you want to go, and then you let the market take you wherever it takes you. So you build products based on what we were talking about the other day. You build your products based on market need, what your customer wants and is asking for. So for example, what we're going to create today at the end is going to be your MVP, minimum viable product, business model canvas. For example, I started a business called Peak Physique. Peak Physique is an app for bodybuilders that can help them to track all of their most important intake in their body and their exercises, and show it off to the world in a social media platform, right? So as I started to think about that idea, there was a million different things I could have done. And when I went to go talk to a developer to get it done, they said it was going to be $100,000 to get that app done because I had all these ideas about what it needed to be, all the bells and whistles, all the cool things that it can do. MVP, I took it to market. All it did was you can put in the macros that you did. You could take a picture of yourself to pair what it is that you put in your body and how you looked correlated with that information, and that's it. And just the MVP took me from 0 to 30,000 users, and that's actually all I needed. Then I sold the app. I didn't even need to build the whole thing. And then I got some interest and sold the app. So that's okay. That is that's what we're going to build. And if you guys can, after he gets back to, just put your phones on silent, put them to the side. If you got kids or something like that, I understand you need to be tending to them. Cool. But if not, if there's like for sure not going to be any emergencies, then, just so we can, this is all for you guys, right? I want to make sure that I'm a type of guy who doesn't really like to bullshit. And so I don't want to be here forever. I don't want to take your guys' time. Same thing with you guys. So. Okay, so what we're going to do today is just basically I'm going to show you a couple of videos. And in this exercise that I'm doing, I'm going to admit I'm a little rusty. It's been a while, but I've done it for a different veteran organization for over 500 veterans all over the United States. So we would go to different bases as they're transitioning. I was in charge of planning that whole day, and a big part of that day was the business model canvas exercise.
So let me ask something. With every, not just the business at large, but with every venture, pretty much, this is something that we can use to help.
Absolutely. Actually, even every project, you can use the business model canvas for every project. So for a company like WeWork, if they wanted to have some new thing that they were going to come out with, they could do a canvas for that, right? So who do they need in order to hire to make that happen? What type of revenue or what type of expenses are going to cost them? What's the revenue that's going to bring in? So it can be as big or as small. If you want to do a nonprofit project, if you want to fucking have a picnic, right? All the things you could do for this. You could use the business model canvas for this. And there's another one called, I think it's called the mission model canvas. And that's more for like nonprofits and stuff like that. But anyways, I'm not going to try and train you when there's better training out here. So first, I'm just going to give you an introduction to what the business model canvas is. And then we're going to go through an example of a business model canvas and something I think that I talked to you about, Belinda, but an espresso machine, maybe it was you guys, maybe both. Um, an espresso machine, the business model, how they shifted from having having a warehouse full of unused product to figuring out a way to use it. And then we're going to do a little exercise so that I make sure that you guys understand it. Then we're going to all do your own business models. That's why you have two different canvases. One's for this silly cow exercise, and the other one is for your own business. And then we'll just talk about it, be like a workshop style. Basically, anything you guys need, anything you want to go through, we'll do at that point. And then um, that's pretty much it. Then we're gonna do another. I don't even know what it is. I'm just gonna send an email. I'm gonna probably do these every 2 weeks, and they're gonna build upon each other. Talking about marketing, talking about productivity. Just sharing tidbits. I like it. Entrepreneurship is my favorite part of, besides my daughter and my fiance, of living right now. So, okay. So let me just. I don't know if this is gonna work with audio or not, but we'll see. You guys hear that? You guys hear that? You want me to do something to turn this up?
Customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the
True stuff.
An organization's business model can be described with 9 basic building blocks: your customer segments, your value proposition for each segment, the channels to reach customers, customer relationships you establish, the revenue streams you generate, the key resources and key activities you require to create value, the key partners, and the cost structure of the business model. But it's not sufficient to just enumerate the 9 building blocks. What you really want to do is to map them out on a pre-structured canvas. This is what we call the business model canvas, the tool that helps you map, discuss, design, and implement new business models. Let's briefly go through the 9 building blocks, starting with customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. This includes simple users and paying customers. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. Channels described through which touch points you're interacting with customers and delivering value. Customer relationships outline the type of relationship you're establishing with your customers. The revenue streams make clear how and through which pricing mechanisms your business model is capturing value. Then you need to describe the infrastructure to create, deliver, and capture value. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model. Key activities show which things you really need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't have all key resources yourself, or you perform all key activities. And once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. So with the business model canvas, you can map out your entire business model in one image. This works for startup entrepreneurs just as well as for the most senior executives.
Cool. Any questions? No? None? You guys are lying to me?
I'm thinking that we'll get more into like your.
You want to create a stunning website.
One of the things that I want you to, I guess, make more clear is like my unique value proposition versus my unfair advantage. I kind of think of those as being kind of the same thing. So if you can help me to really make them different in my head.
Okay. So the I mean, I've heard those terms before. It's not necessarily part of this. However, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those
Yeah.
videos that came up after this one. So
Okay.
I thought that, but maybe they're just using another name.
Yes. So I would say unfair advantage is more of an internal thing,
Okay.
and your USP is more of an external thing, right?
Okay.
So unfair advantage is like, how do you beat your competitors? And a unique selling proposition is, how do you attract customers, right?
Okay.
That makes sense? Clear? Okay,
So that makes more
cool.
sense.
All right, so let's just run through these really quick. So we start in the center, and that's basically where most people start in business when they have an idea, right? So it's a value proposition. So there, in value proposition is what you put what it is that you're offering to the world, right? And obviously, the more specific, the better. Now, you do not want to get wordy on this thing. 1, 2, 5 words, right? On every single one of these different boxes. And key activities or key resources, you might have a few different bullet points, but you don't want to have long sentences in here. You're not telling a story in each one of these boxes. The entire canvas tells the story. Okay? So value proposition for, say, the Nespresso machine is being able to have coffee on demand, right? And I don't know exactly how they say it here, but like easy coffee whenever you want it in your office or something like that, right? So from value propositions, we have customer relationships. Customer relationships are basically how will you attract and how will you maintain relationships with the customer segments. So see how it's connected. If you drew an arrow from value propositions to customer segments, that's how value propositions are going to be tied to customer segments is through the relationships that you build. Then channels is delivery. So for example, like the apps within an iPhone app store, the app store is the channel. Or if you guys are going to be selling your drinks, a website is one channel. Distribution is another channel, right? In-store distribution is another channel. Yep, Amazon is another channel, right? Distribution channel. Revenue streams. So there has to be one value proposition per customer segment per revenue stream. Okay, so everything needs to be tied. What are you offering to who, and how much money are you going to make from that? Okay, so you can't have 5 different revenue streams from one single value proposition. That just doesn't work. What is the value proposition for the what is the revenue stream related to that value proposition? Make sense? Key resources is kind of like assets. So that could be your email list, your customer list. It could be intellectual property. It could be all of your guys' inventory. Those are key resources that you have within your business. Key activities, that's where you're going to be figuring out like what needs to be happening day to day. So I'm just going to keep using you guys for distribution or marketing is also going to be a key activity. Everything that needs to be done, creating the formulas, doing accounting, every single thing. What is it? Yeah, no, there is a lot. So you want to. That's why I say like these boxes can get filled up, but you want them. Every single key activity in that way, not just what you guys are doing individually right now, but when you're thinking about it on a grand scale. Okay, I have a business. What types of key activities do I need to be focused on a daily basis in my business? And then key partners. Key partners is a big one. Key partners actually helped me a lot for my at Peak Physique because I thought about beforehand who it is that I can partner with to help to get a user base. And so I actually by name, the more specific you can get, the better. So that's either industry partners that can help you to make some connections or celebrities that can give you an endorsement that would take things to the moon. Key partners key partners for all of you guys is Bunker Labs because it's helping you guys to collaborate and meet new people and network and be able to figure out to find those key people that you need. So the more specific, the better. But if you need to put an organization here, cool. Like another one that almost always makes it into my key partners is BNI, Business Networking International. And if does anyone know what that is?
No.
So Business Networking International. When I started my business in DC, I was struggling a lot. When I joined BNI, that's when I started to get my first couple of customers that really helped a lot. So BNI is a local chapter, and they actually have tons of chapters in almost every city in the United States, almost every major city in the world. And so each chapter meets once per week for an hour and a half. And in that chapter, there's one person per industry. So there's a real estate agent, a videographer, an IT person, a recycling person. You guys would obviously be very unique. Private security person. There would be one person per industry, and there can't be anybody else that joins that group. And the purpose of BNI is to give leads to each other. right? So I was the website internet marketing guy for my chapter, right? Same thing with real estate agents. And then you're in the room with painters and mortgage brokers and bankers and accountants, other different industries. And the purpose of that is to listen to what's going on in each other's business, and then at the end exchange leads or think about it, work through the week, and then give those people the leads next week. So, I mean, that's just a quick tip. If you guys are starting, trying to get new customers, it's like $500 a year, but I mean, that's definitely worth it. And then cost structure obviously is your expenses of your business. You want to account for that stuff too. Now, there's another tool that is, I think, $150 or something like that. I might even be wrong. It might be $300. I can't remember, but it's strategizer.com. So once you guys are really like rolling with this business model canvas, you can use strategizer.com, and it's software. So you have this in a software, and you can actually enter in revenue streams, cost structures, value propositions, and you can calculate right on screen what your guys' revenue is going to be, whether or not it's going to be in the green or the red. So I mean, that's a cool tool, but it's also pretty expensive. So they do have a free trial. Actually, they used to have a free trial. I think they don't have it anymore, but I'm going to work on it. We might be able to get one because we're a nonprofit, and Bunker Labs might be able to get that. So I'll see if I can get the software, and then we can all put our business model canvases into the Bunker Lab software. So that's all the boxes. Any questions on how all those pieces fit together? Make sense? Getting some ideas? Yeah?
You know, okay, this is going to sound like a stupid question, but I'll go ahead and answer it just so I know. The customer segment is obviously your customer, right?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You identify exactly who each, per value.
Yes, that's right. And for customer segments, as long as you guys know me, you'll hear me say this every once in a while. The riches are in the niches. Okay. So every single startup business owner that I've ever met, their goal is to sell to everyone as much as possible. They don't have anyone in mind, right? They don't know who exactly they're selling. So I have a consulting company where I sell to other digital marketing companies. If I was just to sell to every business owner, my ads would say, hey, if you own a business, I can help you to grow it. My consulting company helps digital marketing companies to outsource people overseas. So my ads say, hey, if you own a digital marketing company, but you're struggling to do all your work yourself, I can help you to hire a team at a much lower cost than you would, right? So listen, when you hear that, right, it's very much more defined. And so there, exactly. So the reason why the riches are in the niches is because I can own that space. Who else? You ever met anybody that does that before? No. I mean, all the digital marketing agencies that I talk to, they say, I never talked to anybody. Your offer is pretty unique, right? And so they hear and they're like, man, this is the guy. This is the authority. If this is something that I want to do, I got to talk to TJ. So it's the same thing. If you guys want to focus on athletes or even athletes that are recovering from injury, I'm just giving you an idea of like how specific you want to go. Or Steve, if you wanted to focus on like only Fortune 500 companies or something like that, right? So focusing on and being the owner of a specific niche. Or if you wanted to, I know this isn't something that you threw on at the end, but like if you wanted to only focus on cyber of Fortune 500 companies that have recently got attacked, right? As niche as possible, so that when you're calling someone, you know that they have an immediate need of what you're offering instead of trying to offer be everything, right? And so you have an unlimited amount of customers, and also my consulting services are not cheap at all. If I was working with just general people, then I wouldn't be able to charge that. I would not be able to charge that. So it's weird, but the less that you offer, the more niche that you offer to a niche audience, the more money you make, the more money you can charge. I mean, that's why all the organic freaking healthy ass drinks are, that's why when I go to Drought, I pay $11 because nobody else has organic fresh pressed juice anywhere around in Detroit, right? So when you're thinking about your customer segments, remember that the riches are in the niches. The same thing with your value proposition too. The riches are in the niches. So the value that you're bringing, don't try to do everything. Just be the best at one or two things. Cool? Ready for the next step? All right. All right. So when I first heard about the Nespresso or the business model canvas, this is the exercise that I did. You guys hear that? Could you hear that last one? Yeah. This one's 4 minutes long, so I'm not going to kill you with these videos. But this one's a good example. So you're going to see how Nespresso had a certain model, and then it didn't work, and then they shifted to another model, and he's going to talk about how they filled in all these boxes, and then we're going to do an exercise, and then we're going to do your own. Okay? Ready? Let's go.
Lead author of Business Model Generation and co-founder of Strategizers.com. I'm going to walk you through the business model of Nespresso, a company that sells coffee in the espresso business. So let's look at the value proposition first. It's composed of two products, the Nespresso machine and the pods that go with it. We're going to look at the distribution strategy that Nespresso has. They sell the machine to retail to household, which means they earn a one-time transactional sale from selling the machine. Most of that money goes to the key partners, the machine manufacturers, who they work together. And for the Nespresso pods, they have a totally different distribution strategy. They only sell the pods to their own channels. Started out with mail order and call center, and they built Nespresso.com. And today, in the biggest cities of the world, you'll find Nespresso stores as well. This is interesting because it meant that they had to build distribution channels as a key resource in their business model, because this is the first time that a Nestle-owned company sells directly to households. Now, why do they use different distribution channels for the machines and the pods? Well, they use retail because it has the broadest reach possible, because they want to get the machines into your household. Once you have it in your house, you're actually locked in because you can only use Nespresso pods. That's so-called switching costs, which prevent you from going to another machine manufacturer. And they defend that through the patents that they have as key resources. And some of those patents actually expired last year, which means they need to renew their business model to a certain extent. And once you have the machine and you're locked in, you're going to have to buy pods from Nespresso, which means they earn money from repetitive pod sales. They create so-called recurring revenue. They change the entire industry from moving it from a transactional business to a repetitive business with recurring revenue. So interestingly here, they have recurring revenue, they have direct sales with higher margins, and they ask you for 5 to 6 times more for the coffee that you pay. So they get people around the world to pay much more money for the same amount of coffee. Now let's look at the left-hand side of the business model. See what they need to have to do what they plan to do on the right-hand side. First of all, they need coffee. So they work together with coffee growers, and they try to source some of the best coffee in the world, which they put in the pod. And the pod is something that they manufacture themselves. So production of the pod is an important key activity, and they have production facilities to do that. They churn out 12 billion pods every year, which is one of their main costs. Another important activity and key resource and main cost is marketing and branding. Obviously, when you're a consumer good, you need to put a lot of money into that. And the last piece here that's interesting is that because they sell directly to households, the decision made on the right-hand side of the canvas, they have to build up business-to-consumer distribution logistics, which we find on the left-hand side of the canvas. So now we have everything that's important for the success of Nespresso on one piece of paper. And interestingly, when Nespresso started out, they had a totally different business model around exactly the same product, and that almost went bankrupt. So it's only after a couple of iterations of the business model that they were able to find a business model that you see on this piece of paper and that led to that multi-billion-dollar business. So the difference was not the product alone. The difference were all the pieces here on the business model canvas that led to the success of Nespresso.
All right. So I screwed something up when I said it earlier. Did anybody catch what it was? Good. That's good. There we go. The value propositions and revenue streams need to be one for one, but not customer segments. So you can continue to sell to the same customer segment, but if you have, for each value proposition, you need to have a revenue stream attached. I screwed that up. All right. So now we're going to do, any questions? Any questions? No? Cool. Ideas, any thoughts? All right. Now we're going to do an exercise. And this exercise is pretty funny and simple. And I've heard a lot of crazy examples doing this exercise before. So I'm eager to hear what you guys come up with. But basically, we're going to do 2 or 3 exercises that basically create a business model canvas that has to do with a cow. That's it. That's it. So what kind of business? So here's some examples. It could be, using a cow as advertising. You can use it as a cow rental service. I've also seen cow riding. I've also seen, of course, steaks. I've seen using cow manure for fuel. All types of stuff. So what do we got? What kind of ideas can you think about from a business using a cow? Did I take them all? You can eat them. You can eat them.
The type of waste management disposal. So all the leftover food you have, you just feed it to the cow instead of more garbage that you have.
Nice. Waste management. Okay, cool. I like it. Okay, so value proposition is what of that? Everybody. Okay. Environmentally safe and low cost waste disposal.
Less garbage bags if you have to buy because we'll be filling them up.
Okay. Okay. So less hassle than trying to do it yourself. Okay, so let's just run through this here. So we got value proposition. So who are we going to sell to? Who are we gonna sell that product to? Who are we gonna sell that to, Belinda?
Well, I was thinking we're gonna include kids, probably schools. Schools are,
Okay.
they impact the environment, the kids there.
Okay. Cool. So waste management for schools. Waste management for schools. So let's write this down. So I give you 2 of these, okay, so that I can keep track because I'm definitely gonna forget. There's usually a can of them. You guys all got pens? Good. You need a pen? Okay. All right. Low cost environmental way to get rid of waste, dispose of waste. Who are we selling to? Schools. Sorry?
And large families.
Schools. Okay. Large corporations and schools. Large corporations and schools. Because if we're doing, are we going to go into B2C? Are we going to go to residential?
B2B would probably be better.
Okay. All right. See, we broke that business model real quick, right? All right. Got those things down. Okay. So revenue streams. What are the revenue streams going to be for that?
So we bring the cow, or is it just the one cow, or?
Well, yeah. Is it a farm that has a bunch of cows and they just go pick up the trash? Does the trash need to get brought to them? What? Okay. Service fee pickup. Put that on there. Revenue stream. Service fee pickup. Now, a huge thing here that is going to change this business from something that is making, I don't know, $100 in this instance or whatever to $1,200 a year is what? Contracts, recurring revenue, right? Yeah, having residual, well, having contractual residual income for yearly. So one revenue stream is yearly trash pickup at $100 a month or $1,200 a year. Any other revenue streams? What about selling. What'd you say?
Partnerships.
Partnerships. So how so?
Your companies you partner with that, add a benefit to your productivity being grown and developed elsewhere.
Okay, so we're just the middlemen. Other people got the cows.
Well, you have people that, whatever your service is, they'll say, hey, I'll help you, get your service into this region, or
So you're talking about salespeople.
salespeople,
Okay.
partnerships.
All right. So we'll put that in key partners. So who would be our partners? Who would be good for our partnerships for that? Other waste management companies, right? Other waste management companies that don't have a way to do it, like only trash companies, would be a good one, right? That don't do any type of recycling or economical disposal. Property management companies. Okay, cool. Maybe school boards, right? School boards would be another good key partner. Okay, cool. Another thing for revenue stream is that just to throw that out there, another thing you do is like sell the manure to gardens, right? And so sell the manure to gardens. That would be a new customer segment, gardeners or farmers. Value proposition is high quality fertilizer, and the revenue streams is selling the fertilizer or the manure to the farmers. Huh? Selling the bones of the cows? Okay. That's another example of silly cow exercise, but we're not killing the cow on this one. We're letting them eat the trash. Yeah. Okay. All right. All right. That's their severance package. All right. All right. All right. Okay. So another value prop. Let's just instead of doing two exercises, let's see how far we can go with this one. So another value proposition is high quality. Well, do people want to eat steak from cows that eat trash?
Trash and eating food.
What are they eating? What are we disposing?
Do you go to Coney Island in Detroit?
Okay, good point. Good point. Wait, hold on. So are we just doing food disposal? Food waste disposal?
Yeah.
Food
Well,
waste.
since I have a plethora of cows that I've been raising, might as well turn some of them into, another generating revenue. So now I'm gonna branch my business out of a subsidiary that does steaks.
Yeah. No, perfect.
And I'm gonna call it Trashy Steaks.
All right. I like that. All right, so you see how this is evolving, guys, and everything is connected. So we have a cow that eats the trash, and we talk about okay, and even though they don't eat all trash, pigs eat all trash. But let's now, as we're talking, we're like, okay, we want to extend this business to a different area. I wouldn't consider this an MVP. Now we're starting to get into the territory of really extrapolating as much as we can do. But now we're saying, okay, now we want to sell the steaks later. And so we had to adjust the business model to say it's not just waste management, it's food waste management, which is even more of a niche, right? Which is even more of a niche. Yep. Yeah, but even more, I just want you guys to be aware of it, how this is evolving. Okay, so how do we keep a good relationship with our customer segments? Through a newsletter and
Emails to all the school boards.
okay, emails and newsletters. Okay, all right, and face-to-face monthly meetings or quarterly meetings. All right, Belinda, you're on this one, right? What else?
We're gonna have some urban marketing to really show people what is education.
Okay.
We can use YouTube channels and.
So what do we need to put on here in order to have a YouTube channel that explains our product to reach out? I mean, customer relationships, YouTube channel for sure. But what else does that affect on here?
We gotta have a partner. We have to have someone. We either have a marketing department or a partner with someone.
Okay.
Someone's gonna be there.
Okay. So we have to have a partner. We also A key activity is creating content, right? All right. And also, one more thing, right? So if you have content, that's valuable, right? So that's a key resource. That's our key resource that you have. So let's just stay on key resources. What are the key resources of this business that we talked about? Don't extend the business anymore. What is this key resources of the business that we've talked about so far? Cow is a key resource. What else? Branding, sure. Customer database, content, steaks. Yes, absolutely. The trash is still a resource, right? We still have it. Definitely is a physical asset, something that is of monetary value. We can sell it to a different person who's doing the same thing, right? I said, don't extend it. God damn it. What else do we got?
Manure is a key resource as well, right? We said the
Yep,
leachate.
yep. So manure as a fertilizer is key resource. All right, and let's talk lastly cost structure. What do we got for cost structure? What are the expenses related to this? We got fuel for the distro or for the trucks, right? That are going back and forth to pick it up. Actually, that's another resource too. The trucks, right? The trash trucks. What else? Expenses. Staff. Staff is always an expense, absolutely, and staff is also a key resource. A farm. So we have to pay for. So don't just say that. We're talking about expenses. So what are the expenses? Yeah, yeah, right. Yep. So break it down. I mean, you got the land, the mortgage, all that stuff, right? Because if we're going to take this to an investor, they need to know it all, right? They need to know it all. I don't have a farm yet. I don't even have a fucking cow. I don't have nothing, right? I have nothing. So,
I
sir?
just want to check out the door.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Okay. All right. So does all that make sense? Was that enlightening for everybody? Distribution is a key activity. That's over here. This is the channel. Well, so what do you mean? Activities? Yeah, so it'd be fuel, right? We got the trucks, but then we got fuel for the trucks too. And I can see a lot of this it relates to all of you guys in one way or another and your businesses. Sorry? Yeah, we got staff. Staff is in the cost structure too, for sure. So that's everything, right? We got all the slots. So are you guys ready to put yours together? Okay, so first, before you put it together, what I want you to do is flip your business model canvas over. And draw just draw a line across the middle. Here, let me show you. I'll be right there. Just draw this. Do you have another one? Anybody got an extra pen? Got this? Yes? Everybody got this? It's not not art class, I know, but I think you guys can handle that. Okay, so in the top left-hand corner, write VP, value proposition, VP. In the top right-hand corner, put CS for customer segments. And then in the bottom, put RS for revenue streams. So that's the core of your business. That's the most important aspect, especially when you're starting. So first, you guys just take some time and related to, I know you got two, I know you got a couple businesses going on, but whatever you're here and what you want to focus on growing, that's what I want you to do. And then you can apply this. I don't want you to go back and forth on it. So just do one today and then we can do another one another day. But you just try and fill out those three slots. And if you got questions, then I'll come over. I'll help you through it.
This is for ours.
This is for ours.
For your business, yep. For your business, yep. So what are you selling to who, and how are you going to make money off that? Remember the single charges, remember the recurring revenue. And this doesn't need, I'm not looking for, the person who has the most in these 3 boxes doesn't get a sticker or anything like that. Simple is okay. It could be 1 sentence in all 3 of these. As long as, but this is for you, right? This is an exercise for you. So do it now while you're here instead of saying, I'll finish this later. You want some more water, George?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, man.
Steve, you want some more water?
Yeah, man. Thanks.
You good? Want some more water? You want water?
Yes, please.
Yeah, yeah. I got you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
As many apps as I've developed, I want to develop them for people.
Sure.
Just to sell. Now with this one, this is something I'm actually doing with someone. We're creating an app to help VIR app.
Okay.
It's like a PTSD app.
Okay. All right.
Basically help guys with PTSD to kind of I don't know if you ever had to go to the VA and do those calming exercises and all that stuff.
No.
They make you okay. So they make you visualize where you're at, try to visualize something peaceful and calm your mind and all that. So this creates that for them.
Okay.
Some people just
Cool.
can't ever
Very cool.
calm down. With the revenue streams though, like the only one I can think of, I mean, I just really haven't really thought about that part.
Okay. So
we got
it
some people
would
that
be, you can have ads. You can have ads that upgrade to a paid model if they want to download it, or this could be something that you deliver. So it's not like an actual downloadable app, but a web app that you go to like VA places and be the contractor that so you're also a professional that helps them to deliver it and walk them through it.
So that's how I need to break it down. Because like what we were thinking was, okay, so obviously the VA, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the VA's got loads of money they could throw and stuff.
Yep.
And then there was maybe like some nonprofits that we could partner with. And so that's the government contract.
Well, what would they pay you for? To build it?
No, not to build, because if we already have it would be like a service model. There we go. So I'm actually glad I'm doing this now because I'm telling you, we haven't got that.
Right, you have an idea, but not exactly all fleshed out. That's what it's for.
So here we go. So provide the service because we were talking about going to different places and basically they might not, sort of. I'm trying to think of a model where we're giving it where it's almost like free.
Mm-hmm.
It's not quite, it's free to use.
Free for the vet, but not free because the VA gets money for that, right? So you're an outside contractor. Like you in the business, you're not considered, a vet helping a vet or anything like that. You're a company that has a solution for veterans, and so you go to the vet or the veteran organization or the Veterans Administration or some other veteran organization and be like, hey, or someone that focuses on PTSD, they're definitely getting donations. What are they getting donations for? Solutions to people who have PTSD.
And that's how we got discover contracts. We got a service.
And so just, remember that because as we expand this to your full BMC, you got key partners that are going to be in that, you're going to have whoever it is that you want to partner for that, you're going to put into your key partners.
Key partners for that.
Yeah.
Right? Would be like VA, RWB, those we got that.
Yeah. So wait, we got here. Okay, so you can just put this here. So if you get ideas, you can put stuff in there too that are outside of these. You know what I mean? So if you needed to just put it there so you didn't forget.
So like a revenue stream, basically, I mean, what would be the reason that they would need us in continual business? Right?
Well, that's the value proposition is why do they need you? Revenue streams is how do you make money off that as a business, right? What do you got? What's yours?
Because now I looked at revenue streams and I'm trying to fill this one in because it said repetitive pod sales for that particular for the espresso.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking in terms of my business, which I was trying to do a networking device installation. So what I usually do is cable in the offices or putting in Wi-Fi, access points, things of that nature.
Yeah.
Usually in a warehouse sometimes or wherever actually. So I was
So be like one-time service calls, and service maintenance contracts. I mean that's off the top of my head. I'm not sure exactly what you normally do, but that's what would come from me. So you got one. I mean, I like to have recurring, right? Because if you got those one time, you have to work for those one times every single month. But if you got recurring, you have a certain amount of revenue every single month. Yeah. Your revenue is a lot more predictable. How you doing, Steven? Good? Cool. Everybody good? Where you at? 50%? 75%? Hey, Jorge's. Where you guys at? Still working? I'm not going to interrupt you. Go ahead.
That's pretty much.
Good? Cool. All clear for you guys? Any questions? Everybody good?
Yep.
Yeah? Good? Good? Of course. Just remember that nothing that we're doing today is set in stone. Really, it's just going to be some brainstorming. You guys are going to be thinking later. And this is, like I said, a living document. This is going to be, see on top it says version 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 100.1, right? So you continue to do new versions of the business model canvas as time goes on. Okay. And a way that I do it is I use sticky notes. Actually, the way most people do their BMC is with sticky notes. So they'll have sticky notes for this. It'd be small ones, but what they do sometimes, like I worked with this guy. He had a really successful gym in Vegas. I went and did this exercise with him. He put it on his whiteboard, and he had all the sticky notes and everything. And he kept that whiteboard. He kept it there for 2 years. And then he expanded from a 5,000 square foot to a 25,000 square foot, and he said it was constantly moving, but that his business model canvas helped him to see the direction. Now he has like massage and all different types of muscular therapy, and he's like the most prestigious fitness facility in Las Vegas. It's called Phase One Sports, and it was all from him being. No, I'm not taking credit. I'm just saying it definitely helped him to be able to see, and so you guys should have that too. Some place where this is your model, and it's going to continue. Oh, pull that off. That didn't work. Put some new sticky note on there and make some adjustments. So as time goes on, it's a living, breathing document.
Do you have, so because I'm green, I would like an electronic version of this. Do you have something to look at?
Yes, sure. So I got this from businessmodelgeneration.com/canvas. And I think it's also strategizer.com/canvas. And that is the PDF version of this. And then also I told you the strategizer where you go in and actually build it in the digital software. That's a green part too. Good? Huh?
I'm gonna go over that with Matt.
Okay. Okay, cool.
He's on a mental contract.
Okay, cool.
Right now, so.
So businessmodelgeneration.com/canvas. Oh yeah, there you go. Where?
You be down here tomorrow?
I will. Yeah. We still got to do the rest of the canvas, but yeah, I'll be here. Yeah, tomorrow, but starting next week, I'm not going to be here Fridays anymore. I miss my daughter too much. I'm gonna be home. Be home. All right, cool. You guys ready to move to the full canvas? All right, so just flip it over and start to fill out the rest of the spots. Huh? Okay. All right, cool. All right, cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for coming. Hey, you got your shirt, right? Okay. All right, man. Take it easy. Keep your head down. So he is also part of the VIR, but he does private security, personal security, private and personal security, and so he's out in the field a lot. But he is our number one VIR, our first, not number one, but I mean maybe he's number one. He is VIR number one. Just got that stamped. All right. God dang it.
What was that website you said it was BNI?
Yeah, BNI.org. BNI.org. Yep. All right. Go to it. I got nothing for you. I already showed you guys. So you guys just get started. If something comes up you want to talk about, and then just so you know, after you're done, each one of you guys are going to come up here and tell everyone the story of your business through your business model canvas. All right.
I have another one of these if you
Yeah,
don't
sure, man.
use up to.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
The more you use, the better it is. I look to Belinda because we don't waste those. I'm glad we get to use this room. I always see it, and I'm like, man, I want to. It's a sweet room, but I don't have enough. Like, it'd just be me and one other person. Actually, it was almost me and Belinda today. You guys were all fucking late.
Can service be both?
But what do you mean?
Like key resources and partner. Kind of a resource, but you're not exactly partner yet.
Who?
It's like a THC provider and a CBD provider.
Okay. So the key resources would be the THC and the CBD. The guy is the partner, but the resources is the product. Right.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
I mean, you would also have the key resources be staff, and or you can have key resources be like your contractors, But this is the right place for
Well,
it.
these guys are trying to be partners.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They do telephone. So they do the telephone. You ever did work done?
No, I haven't did a lot of stuff with telephone.
Yeah, they're not bad. He's trying to catch. It's cool. Once you pass all your tests and get on their list, they pay very good. It's what they like. I think. What is it? 15 days, but they pay the same thing. They do it fast.
So I know you said for customer service, the riches are in the niches.
That's right.
And I'm with my company, like I said, what I do is just like network installation. So what do you think? I mean, could you offer me like what would my niches be? I mean, I'm sure you don't know, but
I know.
can you help me?
Yes, I can. I can. So your markets are the same as my markets, right? And so pretty much any industry you could pick. So you could be, for example, the IT guy for pest control companies, right? And you could be the IT guy for co-working spaces. You could be the IT guy for. So that's what I mean by niches. Is you pick like a certain industry or a certain need, and you only focus on that. So maybe even also thinking about not just IT. You have to think about business like this. Business is the opportunity for you to do whatever it is that you want to do and not do the things that you don't want to do, right? And so as an IT provider, I'm sure there are some things you like to do a lot and some things you don't like to do that are tedious and bullshit, right? So maybe you don't want to do wire and wiring, but maybe you really like to do equipment installation. So you do equipment installation for pest control companies, right? So that way, when you say, hey, if you need some new computers or hardware installation, I can help you with that. And by the way, the reason why riches are also in the niches, another reason why, is because once you get a couple underneath your belt, you talk to another pest control company, you say, hey, I've done this much work for all these other pest control companies. I'm the guy, right? I'm the guy that handles pest control. And then another guy, I've absolutely, actually, this exact example is funny. I didn't even think of it when I started it, but this exact example, I was competing against another guy for a website and marketing contract, and the guy that fucking did website and marketing for just pest control companies, I lost out on because I was serving everybody. Yep.
So he was just specialized
Yep.
in that particular
Yep.
guy. Okay, I see what
Yeah.
you're saying. Instead of you trying to service
Yeah,
everybody.
because That guy knows the language of pest control services, and he knows what their needs are, what their pains are, right? So he knows them better. Yeah, and probably, I mean, no offense, but probably you're like, you're a fucking idiot. You know, you could be doing so much more, right? Yeah. 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 Okay. All right. Well, the common mindset is like, oh, you only do that one thing. I can do 8. It's like, yeah, but guess what? He mines real deep, but you're mining wide, right? You strike gold. You just follow that vein all the way down. Are you done, Sean? Are you done? Keep going. So the cow needs feed, but we don't. Or sorry, the cow needs. We need trucks to distro the cows, right? Or I mean, the distro the trash. So we don't have, like, we are not the ones that go out and create the trucks, right? We don't build the trucks. We actually have a partner who sells us trucks, right?
That's the partnership. No, if we own the trucks, that would be in-house.
No, yeah, well, kind of.
Yeah,
To
because we
get,
contract employees out to drive the trucks and all that. Yeah, we're another company to do that.
what are you guys talking about? Let me just help with you. Okay. What's?
So if we have our own laboratory
Uh-huh.
as the company,
Then they're considered staff. Then those guys are considered staff,
yeah,
and it's a key resource. Yep.
it's a key resource.
But hold on a second. Hold on. You are getting ahead of yourself. Because as an MVP, is because as an MVP, so sure, you have 2. I'm just saying for now, I can see how you both are thinking. And for now, you don't want to have someone, you're not going to pay someone full time and build a warehouse, right? You're going to test a different product and have those different elements into it. And so you're going to need a partner to give you those things to try it out. Now, the different elements are key resources, regardless, but the people are not. But eventually, when it works, you're going to adjust your business model to hire internally, and it will end up being a key resource.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Cool. Good example. What is it? Sean, what's up? What's up? I was going to help you through it if you needed it.
Okay, so I'm on the customer relationships part.
All right.
I know how to get an app to people. I still need to work on revenue streams, I think. But I mean, and I know I need to work on this.
So you're going to use social media. You're going to use email newsletter. You're going to use VA to actually push it out and talk about the product, right? And talk about the opportunity.
Those little meetings and stuff.
Like the different partners, one of the things you're going to use their partnership for is for them to tell their people about your product.
Gotcha. I got it. Like when the VA shoots out that newsletter and tells you what's going on. Yeah.
So I would just put here partner promotions or something like that.
Social media, email,
Website. The website, right?
on the website, right?
Belinda, you all right?
Yes.
You did your homework before you came today.
That makes a lot of sense. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. That's what I'm here for. You guys all right? Cool. Also, as you're going through, I have this sheet that I gave you guys, designing crystal clear business model canvases. Just glance at that and make sure that you're checking those boxes.
Very two business model canvases created.
Sorry?
There should be two business model canvases. There's gonna be one we give you. No, I mean, I'm just saying earlier. In the very, like, before you start, you want to write everything down, there should be two. There should be how to get it up and running immediately, and what would be at lowest cost, and then the one at, like, when you're at, like, global scale.
So why would I tell you no? Why would I say no to that?
Right.
No,
I'm
why?
just saying
No, I'm
that
saying
they-
why would I say no to that?
They should do without every day of this. Because it's gonna change constantly.
Yes. So the same thing as having a business model. I mean, absolutely, for sure. If you want to have that as like something in the back of your mind that you want to hold, do two business models. But you want 1.1 to drive 1.2 to drive 1.3 to drive 1.4. And if you only are trying to get to, if you only are trying to get to where version maybe 4.0, you're going to miss some things along the way because you're trying to shove a round peg in a square hole instead of listening to your audience and letting them drive your product.
Because it's constantly, everyone's wants everywhere. It always, it's constantly changing.
Yeah. So I'm going to talk about that in a little bit, but basically, as you go on, you're going to test different parts of this. You're going to test customer segments. You're going to test different revenue streams, and you're going to talk to people, and you're going to or you're going to validate by trying to sell it, like we're talking about the other day. And if you get no's, or if you get, oh, that sounds good, but I want this. I'm not saying if they say it one time, but if you keep hearing it over and over and over and over and over again by different people, that's what you need to do, right? And it could be completely different, right? It could be completely different. Like just throw it out there. Maybe somewhere down the line they say, you know what would be really great for you guys? Instead of you guys making juice, what if you made those gel packs that they do when they're running and they squeeze in their mouth, right? I'm not saying that's what you should do. I'm just saying it could lead down that path. And if people keep saying that would be great, that would be great, that would be great, I want this, what if there were gel packs, blah blah blah, then the market is telling you I want some damn gel packs, right? Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it kind of goes against the grain of like having your own business that you create, but that's what business is, right? It's not an ego thing. It's not about you. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Absolutely. I mean, you have the idea and you're putting it forward and you stick to your roots and keep it simple for sure. Like there's another company that I've used, a project management company that I've used since I started called Basecamp. And all they do is you have a task list, and you put tasks in it, and you can upload all your assets like graphics and stuff like that, but nothing else. And people kept on going to them, hey, we want recurring tasks. We want to be able to do this and that. We want to have other teams. We want timelines. We want charts and this and that. They didn't. They stuck to just that. Have them be the core. Yeah, because they said, we want to be simple. We want to stay and be the people. And now they're the industry leader in project management. Industry leader in project management. Yeah, exactly. They're in a certain niche. I'm sure that within those things that they want, the guidelines that they wanted, they made some adaptations based on what their market told them. You know, how to actually archive things or whether or not you can delete or undelete. I don't know, tons of things. I'm sure that within the confines of what it is that they said that they are and they are not, they made some adjustments based on their market, but it is still their business and the part that they can say no to things that they really don't want to do. Yep. I mean, like you guys could say right now, like, guess what? No matter what, I'm not going to be the fucking marathon runner gel pack guy. I don't want to, right? Yeah. Well, that's what they use them for, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And so you just never go there. How are you guys doing? No, key activities is a lot. It's going to be coming up with new formulation. It's going to be accounting. It's going to be uh, sales calls. It's going to be actually developing the product. It's going to be distributing the product. Every single little thing. And so keep in mind that we're talking about MVP here. We're not talking about forever. We're talking about like right now to get off the ground. What are the things you need to be focused on? Key activities from day to day. Also, yeah, Belinda, I didn't mention that, but I just want to reiterate that for this, it is for like your MVP, your minimum viable product. You know what you need to do on a minimum to get it off the ground and get going. And so we were just talking about the key activities, and there are obviously like a lot more key activities that they would want to be doing later, like making sure that the warehouse is maintained and all that. But they don't have a warehouse. That's not part of what they're doing off the ground. And so for you too, I just want to make sure that you didn't go too far into the weeds when you're not letting the market dictate what it is that they want.
Okay. That sounds good. And that's part of what you say here too, what is as is and what is to be.
Yep. Yep. So that is another way to do it. Is right. It says here, what is as is and what is to be. Except, well, actually, both you guys. A lot of it is at a startup phase, and so pretty much everything is to be.
Yeah.
Right. Almost pretty much everything is to be. So it's not to be forever. It's to be soon.
This is the year.
Yeah, no, that's my biggest thing. And this is why I love this because I sat with a guy in December. We almost brought it to we were sitting down and he was like, well, let's look at all of what you're doing, all of what you're business. He saw this. I pulled it up saying, man, here's a picture of this. And I'm telling him how I used to do a whole lot of this. And also, I think his whole thing was for almost an hour and a half. Yeah. I went from being happy about it to being pissed. And I'm not pissed at him, I'm just pissed at myself. He's like, man, you're way too focused. Which is why when we were talking about getting someone to bring in
Yeah. So I would be like somewhere in between what he said and what, and I don't even know where you were at that point, but I wouldn't look at all the ways that you're losing money. I mean, that's important, but all the ways that you're not able to have the life that you want to have, all the ways that you're not able to have the freedom and spend the time that you want and be with your family and go on vacation and all that, right? And it doesn't have to do with just money. Because if it's just money, that to me, when you said all that, all I can think of is how, man, you'd be real busy trying to cover up all that ground that he said that you were saying that you're missing here, and leaving off.
Well, it's just, I think like, I kind of gave you a real simplistic version of what we were talking about, but it was basically like, well, with the resources you got, if we just focused,
Absolutely.
and it would finish it go a whole hell of a lot
Absolutely.
smoother, so I really, that's what that's what I wanted to make sure that, sometimes we got to
Sure.
talk to you about
Sure won't happen this week, next week,
the,
but I would like I mean, that's what this is for. All of us holding each other accountable. We're in this room. We're about to tell each other the story of what we want for our business, what our business is, where we want to take it, and it's a matter of being here, not being here. I know that everybody's busy, and I'm not. It's not good, not bad. It just is what it is, right? But if you're here with all these people that are interested in being successful, the more people that are here, and the more motivation, the more energy we have, the more accountability we have. I mean, I'm not too shy. I'm gonna be asking you guys about like this and that, and a lot of times that might make some people disappear. But if you're here in each other's face all the time, just helping each other to grow, then I mean, you're gonna have to stay focused, and that's what this is all about. Right now, what is the business model? What is it that you want to focus on? And so, if that app is not like what it is that you want to focus on right now, that is going to generate the revenue that makes you happy or makes you free, that's something that's later on down the line, and you might want to do it again for something that's a little bit closer to the chest. I, I focus is absolutely. There's some people that are in the VIR right now that are not focused, right? And it's definitely there needs to be focus. Everyone here deserves to be here, absolutely, for sure. And it's just whether or not they want to focus. You get caught in the minutia and all the talk of what it is you want to do and trying to figure out and trying to be perfect, or you can just go out. I mean, the intention of business is to go out every day and make mistakes as fast as possible and get up and keep moving. You will not ever be perfect, ever. And it's stupid to think so. I'm not the same person I was 6 months ago. Definitely not the person I was 5 years ago, not 10 years ago. I mean, we were all in the military. We grew a lot through the military. Entrepreneurship is a journey that is way more developmental because it's you versus you, and no one's pushing you. There's no drill sergeant. There is no person on top of you. I mean, like when I first started my business, I thought, oh, I made it. It doesn't matter. And I woke up at noon and did a few hours, and I'm the boss. I could do whatever. And then I get letters, and I had to short sell my house. I had to short sell my condo. I wasn't a freaking baller. I was fooling myself. Had nothing, right? And so it's a matter of absolutely being focused and being accountable and not being afraid to make mistakes. And a lot of that, I'll be honest, a lot of that has to do with sales. A lot of that commonly has to do with sales. Going out there and talking to people, and people, if you're going out to talk to people, provide them with a solution, clear value proposition, and the more clear you are about your value proposition, the more it is that they're going to listen because you are actually talking to them about a problem that they have, and it's not that big of a deal. You're not here to be a slimy salesman, but that is absolutely one of the hardest sticking points. Is like you have all this thing. I mean, I've seen some people have their product ready to go, who have everything ready to go, and they won't push it. They won't push it on social media. They won't talk about it with their friends and family. They won't put marketing dollars behind it because they're afraid, and they're always doing all these freaking tune-ups, and they run out of money, and it's gone.
Yeah, no, that one I know really too well. And I think like what messes up a lot of people at least with the crystal visions, for us what saved us, I mean literally saved us was we had patents. And we were able to license those. And also we were a production before it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
And the only thing like where I think we messed up, just like you said, was the marketing. Our marketing budget was
Right.
and luckily, because of the people that we knew, we had to go to, they just happened to know that we had. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And there's things that which is why we kind of move on to this other things for us. Business model.
Yeah.
Because we actually bring some people in to kind of develop a business, further develop that business.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But with this is something different from that. I guess we must have liked those guys. We did make money, though. Don't get me wrong, but I did recognize some of the mistakes that were
Mm-hmm.
they really kind of ignored we looked strictly at 360 videos market. which I don't know how well you guys do this on VIR, but if you only do video, you basically say for yourself. You're not, if it's not interactive, it's something shape form.
Whatever it is technically that have to do with business, I promise you that's not what's going to hold you guys back. It's all about you. This is a competition for you against yourself. Anytime I'm not being successful, it's me. I'm the one that's afraid. It's either fear or courage, fear or strength, scarcity or abundance. This mindset. And that's the only thing you need to worry about. If the reason why people are afraid to go talk to a salesperson or talk to you and make a sale is because they think if they screw up that sale, there will be no one left to talk to. Guess what? There's freaking a lot of people in the world. You're never going to run out of people to sell to. You can just go on over and over and over and over and over every day, all day. If you come to me and you say, I got no one to sell to anymore, like, man, you must be exhausted. You must be exhausted because you talk to every single person in your target market. I don't think so, right? I don't think so. And so,
Procrastination.
yeah, well, I mean, people procrastinate out of fear. I mean, it all is fear or courage, scarcity or abundance. We procrastinate because we're afraid, right? I mean, I'm only saying this because I'm not saying this to you guys because I'm preaching to you. I'm saying this because I deal with it all the time, and I've definitely dealt with it a lot. I know what it is like, you know. I know why I procrastinate. You have to be brutally honest with yourself of like, why is it that I'm sitting here? I mean, that's a good question to ask yourself when you're sitting there and you're procrastinating. Is you say, what am I afraid of? And actually think about that and answer that question. And once you answer that question, you'd be like, the fuck, I'm not afraid of that. That's nothing. Yeah, yeah, it's silly. Break it down.
Why am I watching this show on TV right now instead of creating a database for tomorrow?
Yeah. Right. Because and I mean it can go so the path of fear for something like that is, came from a place where my family didn't really have a lot, and every time I see success, my family, kind of looks at me different, and I'm afraid, and I want to be a part of my family, and I don't want to lose my family, but at the same time I want to be successful and take care of my family, right? Like all that down the line goes to why you sit there and watch TV instead of doing what you got to do, right? So you got to rise above that. And I'm not saying like when you ask yourself what am I afraid of, that you're going to go back to all your issues that you had with your family when you were younger, but I'm saying like what is it that you're really afraid of? Why am I not doing it, right? And I don't know anybody who's successful who watches a lot of TV. Yeah. No. No. My cell phone. Yeah. 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 Now, cell phone is my crutch for sure. And like actually, I bought a goddamn BlackBerry this morning, and I'm not gonna be having my cell phone anymore. So I won't have a smartphone. I mean, I'm gonna keep it with me in case of like emergencies. I can't let it go yet. I'm gonna have it in my bag or something, but I'm gonna have a BlackBerry that only has text message and cell phone, and that's it. Yes. $35 on Amazon. Yeah. Yeah. I busted actually, I read an article on Drudge today that like millions of people are trading in their anxiety for their sanity by trading in their smartphones and getting flip phones. Millions of people.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Like, I've seen some of the stuff that's coming out, and it magically really gets to where they sit it right there. A lot of people think that being more, when you're always on, always connected with people who know they can get all of you. It's weird, man. I had a flip phone for a while, but I see exactly what you're saying because you didn't have access to email.
Yeah. I don't care about email. GPS is a thing that's hard for me to let go of. Like I don't want to be lost somewhere, Yeah. 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 All right, let's stay on track, guys. Sorry, I took us off on a tangent, but where are we at? Are we everybody done? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so key resources are going to be, do you have equipment? So let's just put equipment on there.
So that wouldn't be a cost structure.
It would
Okay, yeah,
be
that
it
would be a
would be a
resource
cost
too,
structure,
right?
but I mean, if you're buying for something, it's an asset, right? You're spending something, it's an asset. And then also, I mean, I don't know if you have staff. I don't know if you have existing contracts, customer database, social media accounts, website.
I
Okay,
had a
so
website
I mean, this may be something that
that I probably
that is like version one, something that you really need that you need now. You'll put that too. I mean, you absolutely need social media. You absolutely need some type of email database, and that's going to be there. I think every single business needs an email database. And then, do you have certifications?
I just no, I don't have a lot of certifications. I got a degree in it, but I
Okay,
don't know if
that's a resource for sure. I mean, some type of credentials that helps you to be able to get the job.
right.
Whatever the training was.
I don't guess 6 years experience or 10 years experience gonna be a resource.
Yeah, that's good.
Probably not.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't put that on the paper because you can't sell that.
Yeah,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right.
But the certifications and really the certifications become a key resource when you have like staff that have the certifications. So you have certified staff. What else you missing? And everything?
I got
Oh,
equipment,
channels. Okay, so how
and
do
just
you
channels.
deliver your product? So this is in person, right?
Yeah,
That's it.
usually
That's it. That'd be it.
So I'm thinking like, maybe I should put some of my brand logistic
Yeah.
companies, but I'm thinking maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in person to start with, and then another thing would be like, I don't know if you do remote management at all. If like they have a
I
problem.
have done some, but it's not one of the things that I specialize in, so
Okay.
I'm staying away from it for
Okay.
now.
All right. One of those things you hate doing. All right. I got it.
But I won't say hate, but I just haven't had enough experience with
Okay.
it. So whatever I don't like when I'm doing the work, I try to do more of it.
Yeah.
Because I know it's gonna be a time where nobody else is there to do it, and I'm gonna have to do it.
Yeah.
So whatever I don't like, I try to do it.
Okay. That's a good way to approach it for sure. It's a lot of discipline to do that, but
Man, because it shows how much if you're afraid of it, it's gonna come.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if I face it, usually
Yeah.
it dissolves. So
Yeah.
working
No,
on
perfect.
mine
That's
is
good
not.
mindset.
I'm trying.
That's what I tell my brother. I say, always work towards what's most uncomfortable. Always
Yeah, that's what I was taught.
focus on
Do
what's
the
most
harder stuff
uncomfortable.
first, and just it'll
Cool.
work out for you. So I try.
That's good.
Thank you
Mindset.
so much.
Mindset's the biggest thing for sure. All right, everybody done? Is everybody done? You guys done? Are you guys about to break up? You're gonna cut your organization down to get this.
No, I
Oh,
like it. It's been that though.
I thought you guys were fighting.
No.
You're good. You can
Yeah,
tell
you
us
can
your
say
motto.
mine.
You can announce your motto when you come up and tell us
Okay.
your story. All right. Wait. Why don't you have value proposition?
Well, it's on.
Well, move it. Move it, man. Move it. Put it here.
Oh, right, didn't you?
Yeah. Are you done, Belinda?
Yes, I'm done.
All right.
This is the MVP.
All right. Cool. So also, right next, I'm gonna have you guys come up and tell. But before I do that, there's this other sheet too. 7 questions to assess your business model design. Just take a look at that and make sure that there's nothing that pops out on you that you need to adjust. And then, actually, I'm just gonna have you guys tell the story, and then we're gonna cut everything out. We're gonna finish it. So I'm gonna explain the test card and the process of testing and the MVP, minimum viable product, methodology now, just so that we can just do okay. So the testing process, what you're supposed to be doing, and I've said this kind of halfway so far a couple times, but the testing process is this business model canvas as a living document needs to be tested. So the intention is to try to break different elements of this business model canvas. So let me see, Belinda. Let me see yours. All right. All right. So we've got face to make. All right. Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. All right. So Belinda says that her customer segments are property management companies. What is decision? Be more specific with that one. Okay. And the building owners. So you might want to be a little more specific. That one too. And government entities. Okay. So, for example, on it, it's Sunday night and she's thinking, okay, what do I need to do next week? What is the most important thing? What do I need to focus on this week? So then she takes this test card out. She says, I'm going to test out my customer segment. I'm going to see if government entities is a good person to go after. So I believe that government entities are a good customer segment. To verify that, I will call a few different government entities and see if they're interested in my product, or I will see if there is anyone else that's in my market that has government entities as their customers or something like that, right? And I'm going to measure whether or not that seems like a successful market to go into. We are right if
If they are buying recycling right now, which
Yep.
they are.
Okay, perfect, right? We are right if, okay? And so you want to test different elements of this. Let's do one more example. Let's do a revenue stream. Sir, let's do, what does that say? What's the next one? Build on demand.
Wait, I'm sorry, you can't read my. So what did I say?
Plus on Amazon.
Bins on Amazon. Like I'm gonna
Oh.
sell bins. That can be a revenue stream.
Okay, so Belinda says one of her revenue streams is she's going to sell bins on Amazon. Let's just say she's like, okay, I'm going to test that out. So how would you test that out?
See if there's a market on Amazon currently. See if it's a successful market, and see where they're ranking, where step in,
Okay,
wherever their
cool.
goals are, whoever is
Perfect.
the leader right now.
Okay, so doing some competitive research, seeing how well they're doing, see what they're doing, some mistakes they're doing, and try and doing better. Okay, cool. Now, another way that you could do it is like trying to sell it off of Amazon. Maybe you just have a put it on like a single page website, and you run traffic to it through Google AdWords or something like that. And you say recycling bins. I mean, obviously, if you have someone searching for recycling bins, they're going to buy it. This is just to make a point. That's how you test your revenue streams, to make sure that that's a validated offer, right? So for you guys, right, you have the drinks and you have the packets, right? And so one of the things that you guys need to validate in order to see if the packets are a viable revenue stream is if the things are how long they're gonna stay fresh, right? And how you're gonna keep them fresh. And so saying this week I'm gonna verify whether or not we're gonna be able to use packets as a revenue stream. And you break that down and you fill out this sheet and basically think through the process of, if we get to the bottom, what is the criteria for us to say that we're right? Yes, we can have those packets, or no, we can't. Right?
Because we might not even need it.
Right. We might not
Or
even need
it just might be end up being like a losing expense.
Yep. Yep. And so that would be two different things. Like one week or one day or 1 hour, you might be validating the actual expense of it, whether or not it makes sense. And another you might be validating whether or not it's actually something that will work, if it will preserve, if it's something that you can, if it's something that you can actually package together because you guys have such good high quality ingredients. Does the packet make sense to powderize it? Do you lose any of the potency of it? Do you lose any, right? Okay. Everyone understand, right? And so you're doing that with each item on your business model canvas. And this is just your job as the owner to do it all the time, right? And so some of the validation is sales. Some of the validation is sales, right? And so my suggestion to you is if you're validating things that could, and you really have a good idea that they're going to work, or even if maybe you think that they won't, but they end up doing it, they end up working, you're going to want to document that process. So for example, if you're going out and you're doing sales of your products, if you are, who are you talking to? What steps are you taking to get their information? What are you saying when you're on the phone? Are you having a follow-up meeting? What are you doing to close that person? Are you giving them a contract? What does the contract look like? So why do you think that I would say that it'd be a good idea to document that?
Because you can repeat that over and over again, and then you can also have someone else do it later on.
Yep. So the number one thing is for delegation, for future delegation, because that's what's going to make you guys the owner and not the operator in the business. Okay, so documenting each of these processes is what helps you to go from operator to manager to owner. Cool? All right. You guys ready to tell your stories? Belinda, I know you want to go first. I'm going to shut off the video. Oh, man. Is this still going? All right, speak loud because my headphones died.
Do I have to reintroduce the business?
I don't know if everyone knows exactly what you're doing. So you're going to introduce the business, so you can introduce the name, but then you're going to say the value that you bring, who is it that you're bringing, and then you talk about. Basically all I want you to do is talk about your value propositions, your customer segment, your revenue streams, and your key partners. That's it.
Can you say that one more time? I'm so sorry.
Yep. So it's all the corners of it minus expenses.
Okay.
So just here, 1, 2, 3, and then the middle, value proposition.
Okay. So my name is Belinda Barnes. I own Green Beans Recycling. Our customers are industrial and commercial buildings. The value proposition is that we are offering recycling services and education to the commercial and industrial buildings. Our customer segment is property management, building owners, decision makers in buildings that can decide whether they will have recycling versus waste management, and government entities. Our key partners would be United Solutions. That's a bin manufacturer because that's one of the revenue streams we have, and I'll talk about that in a second. Our local manufacturers is a possible key partner. Our veteran organizations, key partner. Government organizations are key partners. Schools, mentors in the field are key partners, and Amazon. The customer segment, right? Am I talking customer segment? I think I just did talk about that.
Yeah. And
Okay.
then the revenue streams.
Okay, and then the revenue streams are the service that we offer recycling for these entities, and that would be because it's a recurring service that we keep them as a consistent customer. Bins on Amazon is another revenue stream. There are some things that are in the future which I'm not supposed to talk about, but the possibility of doing insulation made from the recyclables. And I don't know if you guys are keeping up with what's going on in recycling, but China's no longer taking our things from here in America, so that might really be something that I can get into for manufacturing.
You mean they're not
More
buying our
immediate.
distribution?
Excuse me?
They're not buying our distribution?
Well, they weren't buying it. They were, so
They were buying
we were
it.
sending it offshore so that they could process it and then make packaging, basically. So that's kind of an open market now, because they're no longer doing it as a country, which they were taking a lot of things from worldwide.
Cool.
Okay.
Yes.
Good opportunity.
Yes.
Awesome. Anything that you guys have to add that would break her canvas right now?
When you talk about, you said government entities, are you talking about national, state, local?
Everything, yes, because they do business with waste management and they do recycling, so that's a segment that I can get into.
So, okay.
Let's talk MVP.
So
As
Government.
an MVP, let's talk about MVP.
Okay.
So, absolutely, one thing leads to another, but making sure that the process refined and you're doing a good job and you understand how everything works, where would you start?
I would like
Local?
Yes, start locally and especially with the VA.
Okay.
But I mean, like, okay, cause like.
Great. Hey, I like that. Right? So, in the niches, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Start, at least in the
That's a niche.
beginning, starting because then you have the focus.
Exactly.
It's not just about the money, but it's also about the focus.
Yes.
You want to do VA centers?
Yes.
Government, local VA centers?
Yes.
Cool. Now you have a goal, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I would say another thing to do though too would be look at counties. Because like, and the only reason I'm thinking about it is because I have one of my clients, at Inland Lakes, they do aquatic weed harvesting. And what he did was like, he doesn't look for anything to actually cause he just doesn't have the people for it, he makes really good money. What he does is he goes lake ports. So if you're looking at counties, if you're doing waste management, you can look at counties and cities. And then also, cause the VA is a national thing, right? But like, you could easily get like Grosse Pointe or Detroit would be rather large, but yeah, Detroit or wherever, you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
And they're right here, they would have immediate need, and that would be a good amount of money to make if you're looking at it. And as a vet and a female, when you go after those government contracts, you know,
Try to get some of those things.
you would hit their check marks because they have to have, so much set aside for, females, so much set aside for veterans. So, you understand what I'm saying?
So you're just collecting checkpoints before you get to that.
Well, I mean, like, it sounds silly, but someone told me that years ago, and it really helped, you know what I'm saying? Like, when I'm, if you go on, they used to call it CCR and all that, but basically, if you go and you look at the government contracts, and there's a thing where there's a filter, where as many of those you can check, then you'd be surprised, cause you're not dealing with as many, you're not dealing with as many people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, for me, I have a 30% disability rating, right? I'm also black, and I'm a vet, right? So if there's something that's, for minority owned SDVOSBs, which is service disabled veteran owned some small businesses, right? That's all I'm dealing with. I'm not dealing with HP, you know, I'm not even dealing with other vets if they don't have the service, if they're not service disabled. You get what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing, that also filters down to the governments. You know, I mean, for my IT business, I had to scale down a lot. So when I was dealing with people, there were certain avenues I really couldn't hit at that point, but I could look
It's
at.
too advanced.
Well, it was just, it's just like that. It's just like, if I'm dealing with, if I have a service contract, right? Like I just got a contract with HP. But in my contract, I'm dealing with the Detroit area. Well, there's a ton of people around. There's a ton of businesses around here that need printers fixed and all that, and all that stuff. So, and I'm still using, and I can still scale from.
You wanna get
From
known
there.
right in Detroit.
Well, yeah, yeah, so when you say Detroit area, you're really talking about Detroit, Ann Arbor.
Yeah.
Think about all the small businesses. I'm willing to bet some of you guys either have an HP or you touch an HP somewhere. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's one of the reasons I said to really look at the government entities. If you look at how they do contracting, it's very similar to the federal. So if you're looking at VA, you can also look at some of the people that's right next to you, and they're easier to put your hand, when I say put your hands on, I don't mean grab somebody or something like that. I mean,
There's also
The door will open.
something that we can talk about, I'll share with you, at a different time, is, there's something going on in City Hall right down the street every, I think, either once a month or every Wednesday, every Monday, I can't remember, I was just told about it the other day, I don't have the details of it, I'm waiting on an email about it, but you might be able to meet some government officials in there.
That would be wonderful.
I will let you know.
And that's good, because I think Detroit is, now able to say who does the recycling, because just as a short tidbit about Detroit, in particular, part of what they claimed for bankruptcy was the incinerator, because that was a huge cost. So of course they weren't recycling the way they should, because they had this incinerator that they had to feed. So now that the bankruptcy is over, there might be opportunities to recycle better and more versus when they had to deal with the incinerator only.
That incinerator is horrible.
I know,
I
talk
just
about
drove by
it.
it the other day and I thought the city was on fire.
Don't get me started.
yeah.
All right, good job,
Thank you.
Linda.
Thank you.
Not my fault, not yours, but for everybody else, what I want you to do is say, I'm selling, which is the value proposition. I'm selling, so talk about what you're selling, and then talk about how much you're selling it for, which is the cost structure, and then to who, which is your customer segments, and then I'm gonna utilize these key partners to do it. Alright? That's the path that you're gonna take. I'm selling X for Y to Z, and these are the people that I'm gonna utilize to do it. Cool. Jorge, go ahead.
Alright, so
What's up, guys?
we're Jorge's Lemonade. But what we were providing is the fountain of youth in a bottle, and the Jorge's estate, which is all our friends and family and people that we want to include on it.
Speak up.
And the Jorge's estate, which is all our friends, our family, our people, just like our people that we want to bring in and be involved with the company. And we're providing a drink at affordable price.
So all natural, holistic, herbal lemonade, and pretty much everything's all natural, and there's a process. Lemonade only lasts good, freshly squeezed, for 3 days. So, because the lemon juice, it grows bacteria, everything. So there's a process that can be done within pressurizing through, it's called HPP, high pressure, I forget what the last P stands for, yeah. Preserving, so it's an all-natural preserving process that you don't have to add, outside preservatives or, anything that's not natural. And it will make it makes any food, drink, last about, 3 to 4 times longer than it would, normally.
What are your revenue streams?
Revenue streams, not sure. Oh, well, what would generate it is the festivals, pretty much any health nuts to start with. So people who
Revenue
are health
stream.
conscious.
Revenue
and-
streams.
It's the aggregate.
Festivals.
No, how are you,
The
what are you selling
aggregation
and what
software
price?
program that's gonna get people online to sign up, like as a membership.
I'm sorry, I screwed up not being clear on that for you guys. Revenue streams is basically, for you guys, individual bottle, $3, right? Or case, 24-pack,
Right.
$15. Or distribution to other lemonade providers, whatever that may be, wholesaling, right? So it might be like single bottle or cases, or probably just cases and wholesaling, right? Your two revenue streams, just to start off the top of my head, cases for retail and wholesale, right? That's it. That's your, those are your revenue
Like
streams.
some glassware that you can.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Add on.
That's an accessory.
Oh, and add on accessories to the same customer segment, and the value propositions connected to that. One, natural, healthy, or high quality ingredient lemonade, single cases, or wholesale. Or actually, I'm sorry, the high quality lemonade is for single cases, that's for the individual retailer, right, that buys. Then you have another value proposition, which is high quality, I mean, you just do it again, high quality lemonade at wholesale price, and then another revenue stream attached to that is wholesale.
Correct.
Wholesale prices. And then another value proposition is, very high quality glassware. I mean, I'm just saying high quality, you gotta think of a better way to say it than that, but high quality glassware. And you're selling glassware as a revenue stream for, in singles, and then maybe even another one, wholesale to people, right? So you got all these different revenue streams, different people that, different value propositions, but one has to apply, one has to be attached to the other. All that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
So, we have the glass, set of decanter and glasses we keep the lemonade out of, and it's handcrafted.
And then also.
How's it handcrafted, George?
Through the very expertise of a master glass blower in Detroit.
No, George is a glass blower, I just want everyone to know that.
No, each glass is handcrafted?
Yeah, completely.
So you're not doing like a mass market thing?
Yeah.
And this is just for the
Actually,
accessories, they're expensive.
Oh, for the accessory, okay, so if I buy a glass of lemonade, that glass wasn't handcrafted?
But if
I'm
you
not
wanna
being
feel,
clear.
if, one, if you wanna be part of Jorge's estate, you wanna be a member or whatever, you might wanna have, we might be giving you that as an incentive to become a member, but also you can purchase it too. If people wanna feel special.
Okay, so hold on. You're saying Jorge's estate has a certain value proposition, and it also has a certain revenue stream attached to it. I'm guessing monthly or yearly to be a member,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
So don't forget that stuff too.
Yeah, it would also have memberships that people could, you know, sign up online and then get so many, cases shipped to their house in a month.
Oh,
And,
yes, okay, cool.
without them having to go out to a store, you know, drive anywhere, and they just.
They don't have to try to purchase it again
Right.
online or anything, you can do it automatically.
And also another, revenue stream is we're creating our blend. It's all proprietary, so it's gonna be an actual machine that it will go into, cause there's a special filtration process for the water. And water is filtered before it even, before it goes into the glass, right there. And then the machine also takes all the blend in like a coffee filter and it processes it. It goes through like a steeping process.
Gotcha.
And then the actual lemon juice is right on top, you know, it filters right into, you know, how much the specific amount will go right into the glass. And this system can go into, if McDonald's wanted it, if, Dunkin' Donuts wanted it, and then that way, it's now business to business and on a much, you know.
Sweet, I like it. Let's stay MVP on that. I like that. And also, just real quick note, you guys have like a lot of personal attachment to this brand. Make sure that you are willing to jettison any of those different elements.
We already did, one big one was, cause when we came up with the drink, we actually had the lemon in the drink.
Yeah,
We
the
just
lemon itself with the
we
rind.
took that out.
And so, yeah, we
Cool.
eliminated that just because it's, it would be a liability. If anyone were to choke on the rind or to be drinking it.
Maybe it
It
ends up where
very,
the
very valuable.
costs don't work out for the glass. I'm not saying that that's not a good idea. I'm just saying there are elements of this. I don't know what it is, or maybe they all work, but make sure that you're not like having too much of an emotional connection to any of it where
There's always another
you wanna
option
make it work, yeah.
anything else.
And then, who's your customer segments?
Pretty much any gyms, health nuts, you know, everyone that's health conscious, wants to, you know, drink, eat healthy. So gyms, fitness magazines, fitness platforms online, and also ravers. People who party, hippies, cause they're all health conscious, and we go to different festivals, these festivals bring in thousands of people. And like Detroit Electronic Music Festival, for example, brings in about 150,000 people in one weekend.
Yeah.
And even to get a third of that, that's 50,000 that we just sold in one weekend. And so pop-up stands at any events. And people would rather spend $8 on a drink that's, you know, has all these health benefits to it than just a bottle of water that is probably not even going through a proper filtration process.
Who's your partners?
Right now it's just, George and I, but we have,
We have a
other
last
people that we're
partner.
bringing on for our chemistry. One I wanna set up is with Wayne State, because we don't have a laboratory. And right now there's a grant for colleges, or actually any education, government, municipality that has a good idea to put, a more nutritional value into students. So if we made a partnership with Wayne State, University to be able to use their laboratory for free, but in turn, you know, we're offering them support with what they're going for that grant.
You made a partnership, you already have the.
No, that's just something.
This
we
is
just-
something.
we-
To be tested.
Key activity.
To be tested.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome, guys. I'd love to see a finalized version of that, if you guys do end up putting that together, which I highly
Well, we
advise.
have that
I would love
we have a
to see
date
it.
for that, for our
Cool.
soft serve.
Alright.
Wow.
No, I mean
We
that,
want-
I wanna see that, I wanna see
Oh, this paper?
yes,
Work? Okay.
a cleaned up, organized, 100%, you know, like MVP, just so we can talk about it. And I
Okay.
know, it's not meant for, you know,
Well, there's a
I'm
lot
sure there's a
of
lot that's
stuff
missing,
involved,
and a lot
so-
you're gonna think, you know, I just, so that I can see real clearly, if I can help you guys, I would like to.
Okay.
Cool,
There
thanks.
is a lot of stuff we have, and a lot of ideas we have.
Yeah, we have pages, pages just
Cool.
written
We're gonna
down,
have to
and
condense this.
I've been condensing it on the computer, so.
Yeah, I would, if I was you guys, I would be thinking about, what do I need to do to get people tasting my lemonade in the next 90 days?
Right.
That's all you need to be focused on,
Yeah.
nothing else.
You might wanna look at going to farmers markets too.
Yeah.
Cause people go by there, and I mean, like, I've seen stuff in farmers markets that's expensive as hell, but people buy it.
And also, that's a great way to validate it, right?
The only problem with that is that you have to know what lemons you're getting, 'cause there's 5 different lemons out there, and they all taste different.
Well, I
So
mean-
now your product is not consistent, because this lemon's gonna change the flavor compared to.
No, I ain't talking about buying lemons from farmers markets. What I'm saying is,
There's
there's a woman in, she was in all the newspapers, it's a black woman.
Yeah, I
Who,
forgot about that.
and the way I met her was at Westport Farmers Market on, Michigan Avenue. Now, I didn't like it, but apparently some other people did, and then what she did was, she took her money, she started bottling. Well, here's the thing, she bottles quite a few, she doesn't just bottle her products, she actually bottles for other people. And it's hers, I can't remember her name, but if you look up black women manufacturing Detroit, you'll
She got a couple grants, I think I read.
well, she got a couple grants, but she started, I know for a fact how she started, cause I remember, I met her way before she hit the news. She was literally going to, different places, and she had her kid.
Yeah, like door to door.
Kid with her, yeah, I mean, it was quite literally, that's why I met her at Westport. I mean, you'd see her different places, and she refined them along the way. Then when she got that grant from, Quicken, that's when she blew up, cause then they put her in cranes, and she's literally the only person doing it, so she leveraged the fact that she's literally, I think she's literally the only woman, not just only black woman, but the only woman that 100% owns a bottling manufacturer. And she leveraged that, I mean, it's actually, it definitely validated a lot of stuff for me, cause I mean, when I say she was, you'd see her, she'd have her stuff with her, and her kid, it was interesting, but that's why I say farmers markets. The people were buying it, and they were paying, I mean, if you go into Westbourne, or into, any of those other farmers markets, some of that stuff in there is pretty,
Pricey.
expensive, yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's all.
We wanna make it a drink, basically, like, a little bit higher than what Red Bull is right now, but a little bit lower than, like, a drink you're talking about, which is like $12, it's kinda steep, but we wanna be able to let everybody be able to purchase it.
No, I got you.
Doing that.
Yeah,
Coca-Colas and stuff like, with corn syrup and lots of sugar and stimulants, stuff like that, is like.
$4 or $5?
It's big, you know.
Probably $4 or $5, you're thinking?
What's that?
Price of the bottle?
For a bottle?
Yeah,
$5.
probably about $5, somewhere around $5.
Sweet. Can't wait to taste it.
It's so good. I can't wait till we come up with, we gotta get inventory of other flavors. We already have other flavors in mind, and I'm just looking forward to integrating those flavors into the drink, because it's gonna be
So
phenomenal.
you realize that's a story that he just told, you've tasted it before, you both have tasted it before.
Oh, yeah.
You both have had
The
it.
classic.
The story that he
Classic.
just told could
Could
be
help us.
your version 1.0 tomorrow, Saturday, at Eastern Market.
yeah.
Just
Yeah.
saying.
Right.
I'm not saying that, like, oh, challenge you guys, you better see on Monday, I'm just saying, you know, don't get caught up in the weeds of bullshit business stuff. Get out there and just
Okay.
Right.
talk to people and have
Right.
people tasting your stuff, yeah.
Okay. One thing we wanna try to do is a lot of surveys and stuff. And street teams.
Sweet. Cool, alright guys, thank you.
Okay.
name is Sean Lewis. What I'm gonna talk about right now is, my, veteran, the name for it right now is Veteran VIR PSD app, alright? Value proposition, it'll help provide focus. So here's the thing, I don't know if you guys ever been to one of those VA things where they're telling you need to calm your mind, and you need to visualize yourself in a positive place or something like that. Not everyone has a quiet place. There's a lot of people that, quite frankly, for whatever reason, they can't just quiet their mind. So it'll help you quiet your mind. It'll create a calming environment anywhere because you're using it's a VR. It'll be both a VR mobile app and an app for either Oculus or Vive. All right, and I'll kind of move into that a little bit. And it'll also help monitor reactions and chart progress. Okay, and
You see charge partners.
chart progress. Okay. So right now there's a lot
Can
of,
I just say something?
yeah.
So your value proposition is to instantly transport to your happy place.
Basically, oh yeah, I like that. I like, let me write that down, hold on. I like that. Where's that? Alright, our customer segments will be, I put veterans with PTSD, but, I don't know if you guys really understand when a lot of times when they talk about PTSD, they also talk about generalized anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay, so, as I'm talking about PTSD. I'm really not talking about the more generalized anxiety, alright? Veteran caregivers, so people who help vets and stuff like that, and that's also a lot of the nonprofits and VSOs out there that help the veterans. Also the hospitals, like more the psych hospitals or whatever. And most importantly, the VA, because obviously we're talking about veterans, those guys are at the top right there, right? For revenue streams, we're looking at government contracts, and then there's a service model that we really haven't come up with yet, which I literally, when we at the beginning of this, thought about, which is where we're training the doctors, we're providing materials, so things outside the app. Because my thought on this is, we give you the app, but then there's other things that need to go along with it for this to actually be
Treatment.
Treatment, exactly.
Okay,
And
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I screwed up. So that is good, and that's what like what I said about instantly transforming to or transporting to your happy place is good to sell it, but your customer segment is the government organizations. It's not the veterans, right? They're not the customers, they're not the ones you're selling to.
Oh, yeah, right.
And so the value proposition is the second thing you said, which I think is like better tracking, and more effective PTSD treatment. That's the value proposition, because you're proposing that to the government organizations, not to the end users, which is the veterans. The reason why I say that is because the value proposition needs to be attached to your revenue stream. And your revenue stream is contracts from the government. How are you getting that? Because you're providing what value to the government, which is
right, which is the providing the focus, the monitor reactions,
yeah.
chart progress, all that in real time. Right, I got you.
Cool.
I got you. For the key partners, obviously there's the VA. And I got about 1 million VSO. Everybody know what I mean by VSO, right?
Yeah.
Veteran Service. I just wanna make sure. So like, obviously Bunker Labs,
No, we don't deal with PTSD. Only entrepreneurship.
Well, the only reason I say that is because through you guys, we can use the rework offices. So if I need to fly, like I'm flying out to, California, so totally 100% different, on the 29th. So
Yeah,
I got some people I need to meet on the 30th, so now I have a meeting place, a place like, where it's before.
Sweet.
So that's kind of where that's coming.
Great. I'm sorry. I'm being a little harsh on you.
Oh no, I need it. I don't want you guys to just be like, amen, brother, I need some.
VIR too, VIR. I'm like real defensive about the Bunker Labs thing, because when I went to the training, they reiterated and pounded into us, we are not dealing with the negative aspects of veterans, we are only
Yeah,
dealing
okay.
with the positive aspects of veterans.
I got you.
And so, if you were talking about like, we could help, I'm like, nope, alright, can help you to connect with people to deal with PTSD.
No, I get you.
But if it's like the Veterans in Residence program,
That's what,
absolutely.
okay, that's what I was talking about,
Cool.
that's what I was thinking about. I also have on here, so I have a reason for each of these, if I went down, I'm not gonna go down every one of them, but like, with red, white, and blue, I don't know if you guys really know about that organization, but there's a lot of guys who, it's a good way to talk to people and meet people, and then basically have people like yourself, cause some of these guys, like I was in it, I didn't see a whole lot of, I had one bad incident, and that's why I was put out the Navy. I got honorable discharge, but it was just, I got hurt, you know? There's guys who've seen stuff every day, so it's just, it's people that you can talk to that
So you can
understand.
keep their story.
It's team red, white, and blue.
It's team red, white, and blue.
Okay.
The other big thing is a lot of those guys work for the VA. So it'd be more like a networking thing, like, hey guys, I know you guys understand where I'm coming from, this is something
That's a
that I
good one.
have.
That's a good one.
University of California, San Diego, I've already talked with them, also in talks with, the, DMC. Specifically, one guy, he actually called me a little bit a while ago, his name is, I can't remember his last name, I got him up on my phone, it's John, Music Therapy Vet. But, he works at University of California, San Diego, and he was able to get us a lot of people that we can talk to. I have an aunt that works, for the DMC, basically all the different hospitals and stuff like that. She's got me in touch with different researchers, got me a lot of research and stuff like that. So it's, you know, I try to put down people specifically that I can think of.
What about Qatari?
Qatar, oh, Michael Qatari. Yeah, I actually do have him here, but mainly for the development of creating the, soft spaces. He does a lot more hard spaces, but
I don't know what the difference is, but.
well, it's a soft, this is hard, right?
Don't tell me the carpet's soft.
No, well,
I know,
well,
wait, it can't be that simple.
But I mean, it's almost, when I say a soft space, more like nature.
Like a tree.
Trees and stuff like that,
Really?
right? And it's like, but not just placing one tree, it's like creating that space.
Huh.
So
So like an
environment.
ocean is an ocean of beach is a soft space?
could be, yes.
That's interesting.
Yeah, at least, you know, the way I'm kinda using it, you know.
And you're
That's gonna be in
saying
the
soft
video?
space, hard space for therapy?
Well, yes, because like, okay, like,
Because it's
the
digital.
thought process behind this is like, you need to quiet your mind. I may need to take you.
This is
out
virtual
of,
reality putting you into
yeah,
a serene
well,
place.
well, let me ask you guys something, how many of you use virtual reality?
I use it.
Alright. So, when you put the glasses on, and you're completely immersed into another environment.
Yeah,
Okay.
you use your senses.
Some of what we're doing with some of the government things that we're looking at a whole, so a lot of people use it for combat, right, we're all vets, right? So I can put you into a situation, but going beyond that, with some of what we're dealing with or looking at is, let's say you get a guy, he does not wanna go back out there anymore, but we just spent all this money training. We need to get his mindset back into whatever mindset we need him to be in to do that. I'll use myself as an example. I have a degree in nuclear engineering, I'm also a, well, I think my license has expired now, but I was a reactor operator. But you can't pay me enough money to go back into a nuclear plant. You know what I'm saying? So if you could take someone like me, who is gonna spend all this money, right? I have all the paperwork, the knowledge is still there. And you know, you could get me to go back into a plant. Then, wow, you just created something that, think about it, you just changed someone's mindset. You see what I'm saying? If, let's say we take a person, like we all took them personality tests, we all took their ASVABs, stuff like that, right? So when you were looking for jobs, they already pretty much had a pretty good idea as to what you would be good for.
Based on the test.
well, based on tests and stuff like that, right? But I don't know if if any of you guys worked at Lockheed Martin or Boeing or anything like that. They still had a lot of that stuff going. They pretty much knew, after a certain point, they knew whether you like it or not, which you would be good at. You may not like it, but they were they're pretty good at knowing what you would be good at. So, based on personality and skills. So what if we can change that? If we know someone has the skills, the question is, can we change that personality? So with this, if you have someone who, because of what they used to do, they now have triggers, or there's something that society says is wrong with them, with the way they think, or what they're doing. And if we can move that towards something good, or get rid of those triggers somehow, or help them better manage it, which is really what we're looking to talk about, better managing it.
So do you have partners on there that are like psychologists?
Yeah, from the University of California, San Diego, Wayne State. Our hard thing right now that one of the things that one of our key things is we're developing a white paper that will, because a lot of these people, they don't necessarily want to put the problem is because of the fact that we're talking specifically messing with people's minds. Man, I mean, for lack of a better term, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna come in, I'm gonna put this on you, and I'm gonna mess with your mind. We know how to do it. That much I know for a fact. There's a ton of stuff out there on how to mess with people's minds.
MK Ultra.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, we don't even have to go that far. If you look at advertising.
Yeah.
What is modern advertising? Anyone who's ever taken a marketing class?
It's social engineering.
From
From the media.
Russia. It was based on Russian experiments on how to use mass media to control the mass.
Oh, good.
Specifically, how different lighting. They actually have a thing where they were showing this. There's this guy who never changes his expression, but they change the lighting around him. And then you ask questions about it. They came up with color theory, how to use different color. I mean, dude really broke it down.
We use all that stuff in our market. It's unfair.
It's true,
They got a chance.
I'm not talking about secret government. None of this is a secret. You can go out and buy books on it. Now, the thing about VR is this: when you're watching TV, now I'm going well in the sales pitch world. Obviously, I've done this before. But when you're watching TV, like this is a TV. You can look away now. You're not watching TV anymore. You can look at her, and now you're not thinking about the TV. Maybe your mind goes elsewhere. But if you're in VR, I control your environment. So I can control what you're looking at. I mean, like, it's, if I want you to be in a tree area, you're in a tree area, and you're gonna stay in that tree area, because wherever you look around, it's what I want you to see. So at the same time, we progressed to a point where we can actually tell exactly what you're looking at. We can also, using things like Gear VR, or even your phone.
Sean, I'm gonna cut you off. How do you test this without spending $1 million on that software?
Well, here's the thing. Most of the stuff is already built in. It's already there.
How do you test it now? How do you validate your?
Well, what we're gonna do is through University of California, San Diego for sure, and we're trying to get a few other places. Is we're gonna take small groups of veterans and have them put it on, and then there's most of the hardware, most of your phones, and anyone who has a Gear watch or anything like that, you can already test your stress levels.
So you're going to use existing software.
Yeah. Existing software.
And your business model is based on the training and service.
Yes.
Cool.
And evaluating kids,
cool.
Excuse me.
And evaluating a sick person.
Exactly. I mean, like, well, you have to have a base, what we consider baseline. And what we're going to do is, our hardest thing right now, our biggest challenge is really bringing. We can find nurses all day long, who will come in and help administer the
You
stuff.
can get the sick people to come and see you.
No, we can do that all day long too. That's actually pretty. Hey guys,
Yeah.
I got this free thing I want you to try. Yeah, that's.
But they
that's
tried everything already. and
It's
just
getting
try.
it's getting someone who has a name on you to say, okay, I'm really gonna come out
And support you.
exactly because like one of the things that we need to do is get insurance companies. People who really make money, they have something that's insurable. If it's insurable, if insurance companies jump on this, then I mean there's a ton of money.
So how do you get that done?
Getting the white paper done, doing.
You talking about medical insurance?
Yes.
So I challenge you, Sean, to figure out concretely what your MVP is and what you're gonna do in the next 90 days to actually get things off the ground. I'm not necessarily making revenue, but, you know, working with people or, you know, just making progress.
Okay.
Cool?
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Hey, Sean.
Oh, go ahead, sorry.
You have the, you realize PTSD has two parts to it, recently figured out by, scientists. That it's not only the mind that causes PTSD, but also the body. And there's, changes, the PTSD can increase through a bad immune system and the gut bacteria. So if you have a horrible diet and, or you drink a lot of alcohol, that's only going to make the effects of the PTSD worse.
Right.
So I was just gonna say that'd be like, I think it'd be a great idea to
So you
also.
guys need to partner up.
Well, yeah, not only partner with us, you know, but, partner with a, you know, a health, you know, a science, bioscience.
Well,
Nutritionist.
and that's why we're trying to bring in like the either UCSD, we pretty much got that on lock, but I also want to bring in EMS because you're right. There's other things that I'm not really, that I don't even know to look at. You understand what I'm saying? By bringing in the medical professionals, they know more about it. I mean, I'm a tech, you know.
Okay.
So it's we'll talk about that.
And the studies were done in South Africa and published in the, Science Journal,
JAMA or Journal of American Medical Association, or was it?
It's a psychosis journal for medicine.
I'll take a look at it.
Okay, I have two questions before you go.
Okay.
Why aren't you selling directly to the vets? Like, why couldn't this be an individual app that I could buy?
Well, here's the thing. It's the treatment. Because there's a million meditation apps.
And I was gonna ask about that. Okay, so
There's-
that's what you're differentiating yourself.
It's right, exactly. We're
Okay.
differentiating ourselves from the meditation apps.
That's what I was gonna ask. Okay.
It's the treatment. And for you to get the treatment, you need to have, you know, you should be going somewhere.
The results, you get a lot better results working with a practitioner. It's good.
I have one more question
Okay.
for you.
Yep.
Have you researched anything about any electromagnetic interference that might have when you're doing the treatment being negatively heavy?
We've actually talked about it. We're still in the middle of doing that. I know exactly what you're talking about when they say the electromagnetic,
The disturbances from different.
and how that can affect people and all that. That is something that we're still.
It's like a major thing when you're talking about someone's brain.
Well, the thing is, the biggest problem, we have to look at it because we have to think about that. The biggest thing that I'm personally worried about is something that I've seen where, because a lot of people lose where they're at. I don't wanna trigger something.
Yeah, exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, and we're making sure we're not gonna do that because
And you,
I've had people, like, one of the things that I do, because I'm sitting around with all this equipment, just, you know, we do these VR parties, okay? And I'm talking about, I'm just downloading stuff from the Oculus store and,
Yeah.
you know, we're letting people play the games and all that. It's a way for people to know who I am, and I'm making money at the same
and the
time,
thing
and it's kinda
people
cool.
don't put on.
Well, I've had people when they're playing, some of the games, especially, I noticed it mostly with women, but, you know, some guys too, where, because these people are shooting at them and they're going and they're not doing well, they freak out and they run.
Okay.
I mean, like actually.
Like
Yeah,
training
so,
room already?
You got that on video,
yeah,
man? I wanna
yeah,
see it.
no, it's,
That's not
and it's,
funny.
and the thing is, it's like.
How much room do you have for them to run and stand?
No, well, see, I do room scale. So,
Okay.
I mean, like, you, you're laughing, but like, it's like, you can
It really
literally,
happens.
and again, I've seen, okay, so case in point, I didn't, this isn't a running thing, but this is something interesting, just to see what, if you're holding a gun, when you go to reload the gun, what do? Reach your gun, you're doing like the, in your, you can drop your magazine, whatever.
Mhm.
But in the game, you don't do that. You drop your guns, which you would never do in a real
Just like
situation.
automatic.
And you just pick up
Yeah.
new.
I played that game, or a game
new
similar to
gun.
that, yeah.
So, if you have someone, so my buddy Mike, who was infantry, completely forgot what he was doing, where he was at, what he was doing. And he's trying to drop the magazine. Cause in his mind, and when he couldn't do it, he just started punching.
Muscle memory.
Because he completely.
He went to defend himself.
Exactly, he's trying to defend him, but think about it.
So is that something you have to fix in the program?
No, that's in your mind. I can't fix that. You understand what I'm saying? If you're
Okay,
trying
so
to,
you're just automatically grabbing
if
for
you're,
the
if you're
thing you're
trying,
just gonna grab it for.
if you're trying to do something, right? And it's like, now in your mind, you're being, I mean, this is a robot game. But as far as you're concerned,
You
you're
turn
being
into a
attacked.
robot gun.
And not only that, he started seeking cover. And I actually do have video of that. Actually, I wanna put it on the website, but if you guys wanna see it, I do have it somewhere. You see him ducking behind stuff, and we're watching the screen.
Mhm.
So he's ducking behind the car. He's not doing it, playing it like a game.
His pulse and his heart rate and all that's going on and stuff like that.
Exactly. And then like, I got another friend who, she's just some girl I know, and she's doing all this John Woo stuff, and she's playing it like a game.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It's
it's,
a video game.
that's the main thing about VR, is that we can reinforce things because you can completely lose.
Like Total Recall.
And then, yeah, no, seriously, and then like I have some friends who, my buddy Kenji, he has a guy that works for him, they used to be, Force Recon, and I won't let him do anything.
You won't let him?
Yeah, cause I don't know if I can take him or not if he freaks out.
That-
You understand what I'm saying? Like, I can't, I'm not gonna get hurt. You know, I know for a fact that if you could hurt me, you're not playing. You know, it's just how it is.
Right.
Have you
know?
thought about, also incorporating possibly, cause it's a little different when you're actually at a, in a VR setting and there's an environment where you're walking around. But maybe to add on to that, to like another segment of the, therapy is,
Tranquilizer
sound frequency.
Yeah.
It's sound frequency.
It kind of mentions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
binaural beats,
Right.
all the, through the alpha beta data.
And
All of
it's
it.
funny, this actually started, when I was saying to the one guy, he was on the
28 years ago.
music therapy. That's kind of something we haven't focused on that yet, but that's actually a pretty good idea.
Because then it also helps block.
Guys, we're going too far,
Sound.
we're going way too far into this. I would like to wrap it up, I have to get back to my office pretty soon.
Okay.
Thank you, John, thanks.
Hey,
Hey,
I appreciate the ideas, man.
where's your
I
stuff?
really do.
Oh, that's your stuff, right?
Yeah.
Alright.
Alright, my name is Rasan and my company is Dr. Octech Device and Network Installation, Network and Device Installation, excuse me. And our value proposition is just that, the network and device installation. What I would love to do is come to each one of you guys is I want to my customer segment will be to come to small businesses or businesses that are just starting, because it's a lot easier to talk to a person that may have a small business going on and probably need a lot of help. Maybe I can come with a good price for you, or, could be a little bit more down to earth, instead of, me being this big IT guy, trying to belittle your, maybe you don't know all the tech terms. And, so I'm used to working with maybe a small guy or a big guy actually, but, so that is what my customer segment is, but not all of it. I want to, like you said earlier, have, just a few things that I specialize in. So what I've chosen to specialize in, which is what was hardest for me at first is some of the CCTVs, closed caption access points, or your Wi-Fi stuff. Usually I'm running that cubicle lacing. We don't have a lot of cubicles in here, but a lot of times that's what I'm doing. Core drills from one floor to the next, depending on wherever the MDF is. The distribution frame. Excuse me. Depending on where the distribution frame is, the main distribution frame is, I may have to do some core drilling or whatnot and things of that nature, or somebody else may have to do some core drilling and I'll get it where it's going. As far as revenue stream, as far as revenue stream goes, what my market that I'm kind of looking for is maybe, like I said, small businesses or growing manufacturing companies. You have a lot of people coming over from overseas buying companies here. I've seen a lot of people from Spain coming over recently, and they have a lot of cables that need to be ran for these spaces that they have. So what I usually charge for one run is about $150. So that would be from your network closet to your computer, which it has to be within about 300 feet, or usually it'll start to lose. Transmission, or won't go as fast, and your speeds will definitely slow down.
So wait, revenue streams? I missed that.
Yeah, that's what I thought that I was just doing. Revenue streams, I thought was telling you that I was growing my manufacturing. So I was looking for growing manufacturing companies, and tried to give my price. Usually I charge $150 for a run up to 300 feet. I guess it wasn't done.
So hold on, wait. Running wire?
Running the cable.
So cable installation is one revenue stream, right?
Yes.
Cable installation is one revenue stream, and that's whatever the price is. Okay, cool.
Right. And I said if it's for a double run, it would be probably about $250. So you save a little bit of money, but at the same time, it'll be connecting through the cubicle lacing, as I mentioned previously. It'll be for the access points or the closed circuit TV. Most of it is now ran over Cat 6, Cat 5. I've even heard some Cat 7. Haven't had a chance to work with it yet. But so that is what I'm doing as far as and my key partners, as I believe I've been kind of.
So are you gonna do any maintenance contracts or anything like that? Something that will give you some recurring revenue?
I'm hoping to get some recurring revenue from.
Hope's nothing, man.
Not hoping. I'm going to get some recurring revenue from reaching out to network administrators who probably don't want to. Some of the network administrators who probably just find the problem physically, but they don't really, logically, but they don't really want to do the work physically. So I may do some of the work, or I'm thinking of maybe even finding someone to kind of
subcontract.
Yeah, exactly. So do some of the work for me. But as far as cost structure, I'm looking at my.
I just need to know key partners now.
Okay, key partners. I'm sorry. So my key partners are network administrators. There's a few freelance websites out there. One of them is Field Nation. Another is Work Market, and he mentioned something to me, a place called OnForce, which are all freelance websites that post a lot of work. Sometimes they have us.
What's that other one? It's called like Home something.
Work Market.
There's another one called like Home.
No, they have Barrister.
It's like a main.
Yeah.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
And then Angie's List too.
Yeah, got it. All of the above, right?
Okay, cool.
So those are, and I'm really looking at some of the, like I said previously, some of the big three and auto manufacturing companies. A lot of people make maybe just an ashtray or just a side piece. So each one of those, they'll need a database administration, which usually is ran over the medium of copper wire or fiber. So what I'll try to do is just get that placed in so that they can make better collection of the data that needs to be retrieved and maybe later look back upon.
Awesome.
All right.
Very cool.
Oh, let me see. Wait a minute. My cost structure.
No, that's okay. That's good. That's
Right.
good. Wait, but hold on. Hold on, man. You're in the hot seat now. What about like contractors? You said that you might use them. So do you have any key partners in mind that you could possibly use as?
I was thinking about just going to building development places, like maybe some city council type of thing. I guess if they're making propositions to do, maybe put a building in this field, maybe see if I can get a bid on that job, and perhaps,
So you do it one job at a time?
So
one at a time.
Or what about existing companies that are doing what you're doing that maybe you can learn from? Are there any key partners that you could go after for that?
I'm sure there are. I haven't really tried it just yet. But I'm definitely, trying to make my way to it because I really don't see it as competitors.
Yeah.
It's just people that, because we can all use each other. So
Yeah.
I don't really see him as, I gotta oust this guy. I just see it as maybe he'll need some help. So.
Okay, cool. And that might be an MVP for you, is to get some contract work.
Okay.
You know?
All right.
Something that's where you start, get some contract work for somebody else, and then have it be your own company shortly after that. Just, learning the ropes from them. So that, Robert Kiyosaki calls that, he says, work to learn, don't work to earn.
Right.
Right? So you're working with them, learning the ropes, seeing how they get the contracts, how they get the proposals.
All right. I better write that down too. Work to earn. Learn.
Work to learn, don't work to earn. Alright. Awesome, guys. Any questions, anything I can help you guys with? Huh?
So our takeaway is to hone in on something.
It's been giggling at me all day long. Making me fucking self-conscious.
So one of the takeaways is for us to do something in 90 days.
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay.
That would be great, is to, what is the goal short term? I just want to see you guys,